Hey everyone, here we are on line 132, chromatic moves. Now last week we learned how to play F natural on our instruments by playing low second finger on our D string for the violins and the violas, and using just plain old second finger for the first time on cellos on our D string. Well, we can do the exact same thing on our A string. So before on our A string we always played A, B, C sharp, D. And for the chins, that was open 1, high 2, 3. And for the cellos, it was open 1, 3, 4. Well, now we can add in C natural to that same finger pattern. So we could play on our A string. For the chins, we could play open A, first finger B, low second finger C, high second finger C sharp, and third finger D, fourth finger E. And for the cellos, we can play open A, first finger B, second finger C, third finger C sharp, and fourth finger D. Now remember, I can use C and C natural interchangeably. They're two different names for the exact same thing. Natural just tells us that it is not sharp. So we use C natural, and we have to emphasize that we're used to playing C sharp, but now we're playing it natural, so we'll say C natural. But if I say C, that's the same thing as C natural. 132 is going to sound a lot like Spy Guy. There's only one small difference. I want you to take a moment to look at your book for 132. I have a cello book on the screen here, and decide which of the C's that you see are C sharp, and which of the notes that are on that C line are a C natural. So take a moment. I'll draw your attention while you're thinking about it to the key signature, which has two sharp signs. I see a F sharp and a C sharp in the key signature. Okay, now I want you to check and see how you did. We've got two notes in the C line here. Because of the key signature, I know that these are both C sharp. Got four notes that are on the C line here. This one has a natural sign, so I know the first two are C natural. And then there's a sharp sign here, so the next two are C sharp. And I've got a pair of D's, and there's two notes in the C line here. There's no accidental, but I know the sharp sign here makes both of those notes C sharp. The next line, these two notes in the C line, there's no accidental, but the key signature says they're both C sharp. This natural sign says these two notes in the C line are C natural, and then those are B. Here I have four more notes in the C line. That natural sign says the first two are natural. This sharp sign says the next two are sharp. Now, there's also some hints here that they've given us. They've put threes over all of the C sharps in the cello book and twos over all of the C naturals. So they're reminding us which is which in that way. In the violin and viola book, we have some up arrows and down arrows. Up arrows are reminding us it's high second finger. That would be in the 2-3 finger pattern we're used to. And downward facing arrows, that would mean we're using the 1-2 pattern, low second finger. All right, so if we named all the notes in line 132, they'd sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. D, D, cease, cease, C, C, cease, cease. D, D, cease, cease, D, D. D, D, cease, cease, C, C, B, B. C, C, cease, cease, D, D, D. Now I want you to listen to Ms. Reimer play it. Notice how her second finger slides back and forth between low 2 and high 2 to play the C's and the C sharps when you see them right next to each other, as you do in the beginning and the end of the tune. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. That's it for this lesson. Make sure that you're practicing that independently, practicing it along with practice first, and notice the colored line in practice first. If you think you're playing the right note, but it's showing that a yellow or orange line, that means you're playing that note out of tune. Or in the case of C's and F's, you may be playing an F narp or a C narp when you mean to play a C natural or a C sharp. Remember, narp is not a note. That's no man's land in the middle. Make sure you're doing your practicing. That's it for this lesson. Thanks for stopping by.